Look, I have seen a lot of bad movies in my day. I've bought a ticket to see a lot of bad movies in my day. I saw the sequel trilogy in the theaters. I saw the Marvels. Just this year, I saw Joker, Dumb French Words, and Madam Web. But never before have I felt more entitled to a refund of my ticket than watching here. Now, I like to criticize movies as objectively as I possibly can, which means I try to back up all of my arguments with evidence. I look for objective flaws, inconsistencies in character development, logical shortcomings in the plot, contradictory or impossible world building. But thanks to here, I've learned that there is one serious shortcoming of my method of movie criticism. It only works on projects that are actually movies. And this movie should not be a movie. It's an hour and 44 minutes, which is an hour and 24 minutes too long. This movie started out in a film festival and it should have stayed there, a 20-minute short film that cost $3 to see. Let me tell you about the story of the movie and it won't take long. The entire draw of the movie comes down to its camera work gimmick. The camera never moves until the very end. It just transitions between different times. It starts showing the dinosaurs getting wiped out, then the environment eventually greening before some Indians get there. They have a CGI hummingbird pollinating a flower because, as everyone knows, it's impossible to get a real hummingbird pollinating a flower on camera. Oh, look, there's one. Then civilization moves in, and Benjamin Franklin's illegitimate son has a manor in view of the camera, which is absolutely meaningless to the story. Eventually, a house is built around the camera, and we focus in on one living room. We follow Tom Hanks's family most of the time. His dad is played by Paul Bettany, but it also jumps around between different time periods and different families who lived in this house. So, what's the plot? Alright, I'm going to summarize it really quick and easy for you. You ever lived? Like, have you ever gone through life? That. That's the plot. It follows a very mundane family through the years. Honestly, less interesting than my own middle class family. And infuriatingly, the families it cuts to in the past seem way more interesting. One guy invented the lazy boy with his wife. Another was one of the first people to fly planes and try to convince his wife that air travel is the future. But we just follow the Joe Schmo family with no real story to know. How did this movie get made? I assume it went something like this. Robert Zemeckis went to the studios and other producers involved and said, "Hey, I've got an idea to make a movie where the camera never moves." And they all said, "Oh, yeah, that sounds like it could be really cool. Yeah, so what's the story?" With what? The the movie. What's the story of the movie? I don't understand the question. What's the movie about? About? I don't. It's one camera angle the whole time. So, what is it? Just going to be one long shot of a forest? Well, actually, I was thinking of beach. I mean, no. That would be ridiculous. No, it's a family. Yeah. We're gonna follow a super normal family for an hour and a half because that's what people go to the movies for, to escape their own lives by watching a life that is quite possibly identical to theirs. I don't know about this. Is it really gonna take an hour and a half? Well, technically an hour and 44 minutes. Look, it's going to win an Oscar. Oh, well, why don't you lead with that? $50 million should cut it. And yes, this film probably is going to win an Oscar. It's the most Oscar bait movie I've ever seen, and it did absolutely nothing in terms of story. The camera gimmick is cool for 13 minutes, the set design is great. It really feels like people live in the home in the different time periods. But there's nothing of substance. At the 25-minute mark, I checked my watch and realized maybe the plot isn't just slow to develop, maybe it doesn't exist at all. I don't care about these characters. You want me to feel something when the pilot dude died of the flu? I didn't catch his name if you even bothered to give him one. Watch this movie, then watch the first 5 minutes of Up, and you'll understand just how bad this movie is. It took almost 2 hours to accomplish significantly less, emotionally speaking, than what a Pixar movie did in 5 minutes with no dialogue. So, look, I'm always excited to see filmmakers trying new and original things. The idea of filming a movie from one camera angle that doesn't change is really neat, kind of like the one long take in 1917. But if the movie sucks, in fact, shouldn't even be classified as a movie, then it doesn't get any points. So screw this movie. The most beautifully shot waste of 2 hours and $20 in my life.
All right, the sauce. What?
The sauce. I don't know. You're using too much sauce. Okay? Review's over.